Let's take a couple of items that I found on my last thrifting trip and give them a brand new take on life. Hi everyone, I'm Alli and welcome to my channel. In my last video, I took you along thrifting with me and I showed you a little bit of what I was looking for, especially for my living room makeover, which is coming up on my channel in just a couple of weeks. And as part of that, I wanted to take some of those thrifted finds and turn those thrifted treasures into something brand new, along with a couple things that I've also just had in my stash that also were begging for a thrift flip as well. So that's exactly what we're doing today. We have 4 very easy and incredible looking thrift flips, so let's hop into the first DIY. I love this project because it is so easy. I picked up this lamp base and I was inspired by all of these rattan and wicker shade lamps that I've been seeing popping up at different high-end stores, and I knew I could recreate it here. So the very first thing I did was give the lamp base a coat of satin black spray paint. This is my ultimate favorite black spray paint, and it is linked in my Amazon shop in the description box. After that spray paint was really dry, I then brought it inside, removed that tape that I put on there, and then the best part, to make the lampshade, you're just going to need a basket in a shape that you like that resembles a lampshade. I picked this up for $1.99 a long time ago, and now I finally have a reason to use it. I am so excited. Now, to turn this into a lampshade, you're going to need a lamp harp. So I picked up this one that works like a clip over the light bulb off of Amazon. That will also be linked in the description box. All you have to do is simply then take a screwdriver or even like a craft knife and create the hole that the lamp harp will fit into. So I just created a very small hole, and that also is great because once I'm tired of this lamp, I could also just reuse the basket again because it's such a small hole. And then I just added that lamp harp right in, secured it in place with the finial. I added an LED light bulb to the lamp base because obviously this could be a fire hazard if you use an incandescent bulb, and I had this perfect, adorable accent lamp. When I went thrifting, I picked up all of these really incredible frames. Some of them I wanted to keep as is, but others I wanted to do a nice thrift flip to. Now, I have done flips on antique or ornate looking frames before, but I wanted to put it in a thrift flip style video because normally it just pops up in kind of random situations. So for this first one, the technique that I'm going to do is paint it black with that satin black spray paint you already saw. And then I'm bringing in a new shade of Rub and Buff I haven't tried before, which is Gold Leaf. And I took that on a glove. I just don't like getting this on my fingers, but you can definitely use your bare finger to apply the Rub and Buff. I just rubbed that all over the entire surface of the frame, making sure that you kind of got that relief look. So the areas where the design and the ornateness was a little bit more deeper set, I guess, you still saw the black showing through, but then the gold really made all of the accents pop. This is so simple and such an easy way to transform pretty much any thrifted frame. Now for this next frame, I love this one so much. I wanted to try something different, so I spray painted the entire thing with antique gold spray paint instead of a black spray paint. Once the spray paint dried, you could leave the frame exactly like this. It's nice, it kind of gives a little bit more of a modern look if that's what you're going for, but I'm going for that antique look. So I went in with some more of that gold leaf color Rub and Buff and applied it all over the surface of the frame where I felt like it was necessary. While on camera, you can't really see the difference. You can a little bit, but in person you could really tell the areas where that rub and buff was versus the gold spray paint. Now once again, you could stop at this step, but I'm going to bring in one of my favorite crafting products that I use pretty often since I found it, which is this antique wax, and I have mine in the color brown. I do believe it comes in a couple other colors, at least black, I do know that for sure. And I always apply this using a very cheap bristle brush since it is a wax. I don't want to ruin a good paintbrush, plus the bristly brush creates a much more antique, rustic type look. So I apply that all over the entire frame and those recessed areas where I really want to emphasize the detail. So kind of like we're working the opposite of what we did with the black spray paint, because that one we were bringing out the details with the gold. This time we are bringing out the details by bringing in the darker color. So after you get that on the entire frame, you let it set for just a couple of minutes. I found that I could kind of get the entire frame covered before it was time for me to go in with a paper towel and rub away the excess. You don't want to let this sit on here too long, because if you do that, then you will run the risk of not being able to remove the wax where you don't want it. And I ended up repeating the rub and buff and the antique wax steps twice on the frame to achieve the full color and depth that I was going for in this piece. Now, not a frame hack, but an art hack, and I found this idea on Pinterest, and I was so excited when I saw this. So I picked up a art print off of Etsy. It's the cheapest place I've found to get art prints. I had it printed out in the Walmart photo center, and instead of using it as a normal photo in a frame, if you put the image in first and then all the rest of the glass and the backing, you'll end up with your art on the surface. And this looks great, but to transform it into a real looking painting, the secret is using matte Mod Podge. So I started to apply that all over this art print using a paintbrush to mimic the brush strokes that I saw on this art print that I was recreating right here. So in the background, I did more of a dabbing motion. On the plate, I did some more circular sweeping motions. I was really just looking at the art piece, or the art print, I should say rather, and trying to copy that texture that if this was a real painting, that's what it would have. Now, it goes on white with Mod Podge, of course, but as soon as it dries, it becomes clear, and that nice matte finish makes this look incredibly high-end, and I will be sure to do this on a lot of other different art prints because I love the look of this. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, all of these projects are prepping me for my living room makeover, and that is a video you are not going to want to miss. So to make sure that you don't miss out on when that is posted, hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and while you're at it, don't forget to give this video a like. It is seriously the best way to help my channel grow because it signals to YouTube that you're enjoying it, and it lets me know that I should make more thrift flips just like this one. Here's a fun and easy project that I'm going to do with this basket right here. I really liked the wood base of this basket, but I wasn't so satisfied with the wicker top and handle. You could recreate this project on pretty much any sort of basket, and I will explain how you do it. The very first thing I wanted to do was remove the handles because I wanted this to look more like a bowl versus a basket. So I removed those just using some wire cutters. It was pretty simple to do once you kind of worked your way at it, and it already was looking dramatically better. Now, I wasn't happy with the unfinished wicker look of this piece. I just think it contrasted way too much from the base of the bowl there. So because this wasn't sealed or finished in any other sort of way, I was able to go in with some stain. I'm using the stain color Ipswich Pine, I believe that's how you pronounce it. and I coated the entire wicker portion of this basket with that stain. Really, my only reason why I chose this color is because I hadn't used it yet before, and because I thought it would coordinate decently well with the base wood tones. Now, if you want to recreate this project, if you have an unfinished wicker piece, and by that I mean it doesn't have some sort of sealer or sealing coat on it so that you wouldn't be able to stain it, then you could go that route. But if it does have something on it that did seal in the wicker, but you still want to try to change the color of it, you could try, instead of just stain, picking up a can of poly shades, which is just another coat of polyurethane but with the stain mixed in, and that would also recolor basically any type of wicker. You would just have to go a darker color than what is already on the basket. But it is really that simple. Just applying some stain can easily give an old basket new life. I love a good vase or pottery project, so I picked this one up for $4.99 from Goodwill a long time ago. It really needed cleaned up because I've had it outside on my patio. So I cleaned that up real quick, and then I took it outside and gave it a coat of primer because this was a glossy vase, so there was nothing for any sort of finish to stick onto. Once the primer was dried, I wanted to mix up some paint and some light creamy color tones and a light tan tone. I really did still like the color of this vase, I just didn't like the finish of it, so I still wanted to have that. And I was very much inspired by this jug I saw at McGee & Co. I really liked the colors, the textures, and the look of this piece, so I was looking at that to recreate on my own vase. Now, if you're wondering what I mixed into the paint, it is a tried and true method, which is baking soda, and I've done this a lot on my channel. It was very popular a couple years ago, and I'm bringing it back for this project because it creates the perfect faux spun on a wheel look. If you drag the brush around the vase in a horizontal type motion consistently, it'll look like it was hand spun on a wheel. And throughout the entire vase painting process, I would apply some of that light cream color, then I'd brush in some of that light tan color, blend it back in with a little bit more of that baking soda, light cream color, layering it over and over and over again until I was super happy with the look and the depth and the layering that this created. You could absolutely stop here. I think that has a nice kind of modern farmhouse look, but we want to up this and make it look even better, so I ended up giving this a cream wash because the vase wasn't pulling enough of the yellowy tones I was kind of hoping it would have. It was looking a little bit more on the pink side, so I did that to add that color back in that I was going for, and actually added a really nice layer. And then as another layer over the piece, I then went in with a taupe kind of color and dry brushed and dabbed on some speckles like that. I was originally planning to stop right at this step, but I kept thinking about it and I was like, you know, it could use a little more. So I'm bringing more of that antique wax in, and you can see me here brushing it onto the surface of the vase very sporadically, kind of like a dry brush sort of look, but also some areas where the brush strokes were darker. And then I took a damp paper towel and just rubbed that and worked that into the vase and the finish on the vase, and this really is what transformed the piece. It kind of mimics the look of age or dirt, so I kind of applied it in areas where you would think that maybe more dirt would have got on it. Have fun! The antique wax is not just for frames, it can be used for projects like this, and I love it so much. As a final step, I added a coat of matte polyurethane, and that completes this project. If you missed that thrifting adventure, I'll be sure to link that on the screen right here, along with another thrifting type of video that you might also enjoy. And that's all I have for you in this video today. Thanks so much for watching, stay crafty, and I'll see you next time. Bye!